dass sowas von sowas kommt.
Picture this. It's the height of the Cold War tensions. Sirens are wailing, politicians are making threats, and the shadow of nuclear war looms large over everyday life. And then, this song bursts onto the scene. Hi, my name is Alyssa Johnson, and today we are diving into Nina's unforgettable 1983 hit, 99 Luftballons, the iconic track from Germany's Neue Deutsche Welle, or in English, New German Wave. It's instantly catchy, fun to dance to, but listen a little closer and you'll hear a chilling anti-war warning just beneath the surface. The original German version didn't just stay in Europe. It climbed all the way to number 2 on the US Billboard charts in 1984, a rare feat for a song that is not in English. Today, we'll unpack how a spontaneous idea born in Cold War Berlin transferred into a worldwide anthem. We'll explore why there are 2 different versions, what they really say about fear and escalation, and why this message still hits close to home. Later, Logan will join me to dig even deeper into the song's lasting meaning. Let's start by going back to where it all began, West Berlin. Berlin in the early 1980s was unlike anywhere else. Once a city that was united, now split in 2 by 2 different countries and 2 different governments. West Berlin, now a capitalist democracy and owned by the United States, bordering the Russian communist East Germany. It was tense and precarious, living on the front line of the Cold War. Every day, residents faced the reality that a single misstep could mean disaster. Tanks faced off at checkpoints, guards manned the wall, families were split in 2 by politics and concrete, and with the arms race escalating, NATO deploying Pershing 2 missiles and the Soviets responding, the threat of nuclear war felt immediate, almost inevitable. Living there meant carrying a kind of constant tension, a constant wondering, is today the day it all falls apart? Amidst this backdrop emerged a young band called Nina. Nina wasn't just the name of the group, it was also the nickname of their lead singer, Gabrielle Kerner, a charismatic young woman with an electric stage presence. The story of the song starts with guitarist Carlo Karges. One night, at a Rolling Stones concert in West Berlin, he watched a cluster of balloons get released into the sky. He followed them with his eyes, drifting, rising, and realizing with a chill, if those balloons floated over the Berlin Wall into East German airspace, radar operators might panic. What if they thought it was an attack? What if they fired back? That small, surreal moment, that sudden glimpse into how easily a misunderstanding could lead to a catastrophe, sparked the idea for the lyrics of 99 Luftballons. Musically, the song's now iconic sound came from Uwe Fren Horgenkorg Peterson, the band's keyboardist. He crafted that unforgettable synth-driven intro we all recognize today. Interestingly, their record label was hesitant to release it as a single at first. It didn't fit the typical pop mold. It had a long instrumental opening with no real big chorus and a darker undertone that seemed risky for radio. But luckily, they took the chance.
99 Luftballons, ihren Weg zum Horizont hielt man für UFOs aus dem All. Warum schickte ein General die Fliegerstaffel hinterher? Alarm zu geben, wenn's so wär, dabei waren dort am Horizont 99 Luftballons.
Chance. Despite the band insisting it wasn't meant to be overtly political, the timing was everything. The public heard the anxiety, the dread of accidental nuclear war, and embraced it. 99 Luftballons became an unintentional peace anthem, mirroring the huge anti-nuclear movement sweeping Europe at the time. It captured the Cold War interpretations better than any policy speech ever could. A pop song that warned of how quickly fear, suspicion, and miscalculation could spiral into catastrophe. But there's another layer to this story. The song didn't just stay in German, it crossed borders and languages, becoming a global phenomenon. To help us untangle how 99 Luftballons evolved into 99 Red Balloons and why the 2 versions aren't quite the same, here's Emily.
Thanks, Alyssa. Reviewing Nina's 99 Luftballons and English counterpart 99 Red Balloons Lyricist Kevin McGilla prioritized poetry over literal translation. Notice in the beginning the English lyrics, specifically Red Balloons, brought in toy shop, a personal touch absent in the original simple release of Luft Balloons. Critically, the English version introduces bugs in the software as alarm triggers, a modern tech anxiety not present in the German version, where the balloons alone cause panic. The color red itself was McGilla's addition, adding symbolic weight beyond the literal Luft balloons. So, while sharing a core message, 99 Red Balloons offers a distinct poetic and narrative flavor tailored to English speakers.
You and I in a little toy shop, buy a bag of balloons with the money we've got, set them free at the break of dawn, till one by one they were gone. Back at base, box in the software, flash the message, something's out there, floating in the summer sky. 99 red balloons go by.
When we look at the song's chart performance, it's quite ironic. The original German version became a massive hit in the US, reaching number 2 on the Billboard chart and number 1 on the Cashbox chart. It's topped the charts in Australia, but its unusual non-English songs rarely achieve such success in those markets. Meanwhile, 99 Red Balloons, while sharing the same core message, found its greatest success in the UK, Ireland, and Canada, where it topped the charts. So while sharing the core message, 99 Red Balloons offer a distinct poetic and narrative flavor tailored for US speakers. Both versions, however, achieved significant success, demonstrating the song's widespread appeal despite linguistic differences. Here's Logan to discuss more.
As Emily said, the different versions of the song change not just the lyrics, but, in a way, the overall message of the song. The writer of the lyrics, Kevin McAley, took some of his own creative liberties when translating the song. While still holding the same core meanings, his version aims for a more poetic type of storytelling and less heavily focuses on the anti-war aspect of the song, although it is still present. This created a good version understandable by English listeners. However, certain lyric changes drastically affect the song's overall meaning and story. The first biggest change, in my opinion, is when the English lyrics explain the alarms are set off due to a faulty detection system, which takes away from the character of the war ministers and fighter pilots mentioned by Nina in the original lyrics. The English lyrics take away from the implied bloodlust and ignorance that the German version describes them to be. The second part of the song is almost a direct translation of the song, yet the meanings still feel completely different. I do not believe that Kevin McAley had any kind of negative or pro-war intentions when creating his lyrics, but I do believe that his lack of background that Nina had is what ultimately separated their visions of the song. The group Nina expressed a lot of dissatisfaction with the English lyrics. In 1984, the band's keyboardist and co-writer said, "We made a mistake there. I think the song loses something in translation and even sounds silly." It may be obvious at this point, but this song clearly has an anti-war message. The song starts with 99 air balloons being released into the sky. I'm sure most of us would be curious if we saw something like this today, but I doubt we would assume any negative intentions. This, however, leads to the next verse, where a general actually does assume some negative intentions and immediately sends over a group of fighter jets to check out the mass of balloons. The German lyrics state, "If the red balloons are a threat, then the alarm bells should sound." This is followed up by, "Everyone's a hero. Thought they were Captain Kirk. The neighbors were provoked, so they shot at horizons. They shot at the horizon at 99 air balloons. To me, this implies that there was no impending threat from these balloons, but the fighters viewed themselves highly and in turn shot down the balloons, leading to the war beginning and the alarm bells fraudulently sounding." The song then proceeds to mock the war ministers in general by likening them to kids who play with matches and gasoline canisters. The song further describes them as ignorant of their own intelligence and being hungry for bounty, for power, and for money. The ending of the song plays on the name of the song by mentioning that the war lasted for 99 years, and now the world has been reduced to ash and rubble, and there is no room left for victors. The ending lyric of the song mentions finding a lone balloon, some very obvious irony there. The song tells a story that was intended to start a dialogue about the absurdity of the Cold War at the time, but its meanings are ever present in today's time. The song seeks to warn countries and war ministers who are hungry for power and bloodthirsty of what is to come of their actions. The idea that after the war there are no victors is a very powerful statement with the intent of discouraging another war. Evil people with itchy trigger fingers are much too common in today's time. Countless innocent lives are lost in these wars, and ever-present one being Israel and Palestine today. At least 50,000 Palestinians are confirmed dead, and this has led to a wide-sparked debate and outrage across the globe. Israel's actions has also sparked a new wave of anti-Semitism, which has caused Jewish people to once again be prosecuted for crimes that they are not a part of. This ties into Nina's message of war having no victors and only hurting innocent lives and reducing all to rubble. An ironic viewing of the message comes very recently as well from the recent Chinese weather balloon incident in the U.S. United States Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeted out on the side of shooting down the balloon with the lyrics of 99 red balloons attached to the tweet. It is clear from this that she has never heard the song, and her ignorance leads to this laughable bit of irony as she tweets similar to how the greedy war ministers and generals would have responded in the song. On a much lighter note, let's talk about the big hit known as 99 Love Balloons by Nina, and how it is still heard and sung today. The original version of the song charted in multiple countries, including the US, Australia, Japan, Italy, Spain, Sweden, and West Germany. The English version mainly charted in Canada, Ireland, and the United Kingdom. This speaks to the sheer amount of listeners that this song managed to reach, leading to millions hearing the message intended by Nina and its members. This song is still culturally relevant today, as snippets can be heard in television and cinema. The German version of the song can be found in the likes of Mr. Nobody, Despicable Me 3, Watchmen, The Goldbergs, and My Name is Earl. The English version can be found in Scream Queens, Westworld, and even an episode of The Simpsons. Gabrielle Suzanne Kerner, or Nina, would later go on to start her own solo career in 1989 under the same name after the band's breakup in 1982. She would go on to release solo versions of her band's old songs, and even some new songs of her own. While 99 Love Balloons was her only song to chart in the US, many of her other songs received high praise all across Europe.
Ich bin so allein. Ich will bei dir sein. Ich seh deine Hand. Hab sie gleich erkannt. Mein Kopf tut weh, mach die Augen zu. Ich lieg im grünen Gras und erzähl mir was. Ich hab heute nichts versäumt, denn
Let's do a quick recap of what we've gone over today. We have a band who writes a song with anti-war undertones during the time of the Cold War whilst living in Germany during the time of the Berlin Wall. The guitarist of the band was inspired to make the song after witnessing balloons flying near the wall and had the brief, fearful thought that it could spark a war or at least a negative interaction. This thought sparked into a song that would chart in multiple countries in 2 different languages, which is a feat that is not often achieved. This song is now ever present today with the threats of war as well as ongoing conflicts between nations. This song can still be commonly heard all across modern pop culture. Well, that about wraps up our podcast. I hope you all find something to take away from this and continue to seek out the messages created by artists all around the globe. Thank you to my co-hosts, Alyssa and Emily, who've each added their own commentaries as well as working on the sound clips you heard throughout the podcast. I hope you all enjoyed. Goodbye.